Hey everybody, it's Kelly and I'm talking to Big and Rich. New album is coming out. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty excited about what's to come.
It's going to be good.
Tell me about Did It for the Party.
We've spent, what, two to 3 years writing this sucker and recording it, and our process is pretty in-depth. I mean, we write a whole lot of songs, we record most of them, and then we let people listen to them. We'll pass them out and go, what do you like? And by the time you get to the end of the process, the best of the best ones have kind of crept up to the top, and then you know it's time to make a record. And this record is, I mean, I think it actually harkens back to some highlights throughout our previous records. Like, some of them rock so hard you go, oh, that reminds me of the first time I heard that. And then some of them are in there remind you when you heard 8th of November or Holy Water and songs like that. Yeah, it's a really interesting record.
Well, and it's so different, too, that you do it that way. Instead of, like, going in and listening to these songs and you two making all the decisions, the fact that you want input from other people, I mean,
sure.
That has to be a direct impact, the fact that it's your label now. You guys are really in charge.
Absolutely. Well, one of the most exciting things about making a record is just the experience you go through creating each song. I mean, when you finish a new song, it kind of feels like Christmas. And when you go in and actually demo a new song and it comes to life, it really feels like Christmas. So you're excited about them anyway. And then, you know, you want your friends to hear them. You want to see how they affect people. And you can kind of, you can sense that.
I want Granny Rich to hear it.
So, you know, you're excited about it. We just get them all out into our world. And then, again, the cream just starts floating to
Granny
the top.
Granny tested, Granny approved.
I just want to know, when you guys get this finished, do you have that feeling it's actually done, put a bow on it, or are you always tinkering with it? Because I would think it would be hard. It's hard to say this is our final product, right?
Well, I think the accurate answer is you probably always will hear things about your record that you went, oh man, I wish I would have just done this or done that or changed this or changed that. But at some point you get to the process of your record and it's time to put the thing out, you know?
You're right.
And so you have to kind of realize when you've hit the top of the mountain and don't tweak it so much you start going back down the other direction, you know? You can't think about it to that level. I think for Kenny and I, if it sounds good at low volume and it sounds good at loud volume, that's when you know you got it right.
So how did California work its way to the top then?
Just California, I mean, when I wrote that song, it was intended to be a Big and Rich song. Mm-hmm. But then Tim McGraw heard it like 2 years before we were going to put this record out that's coming out now.
We pretty much just finished up
just
Gravity.
finished
It was like one of the first new songs written after that.
And he heard the demo on the song and calls me up and says, hey, Richie Rich. I said, hey, Tim. He goes, I just heard the song California. I said, oh, no kidding. He goes, yeah, I want to put it on my new record. I said, I don't know, man. I think it's a Big and Rich song. He went, no, it's a Tim McGraw song. I said, I don't know, man. He goes, trust me, it's a Tim McGraw song. And I went, you got it, it's a Tim McGraw song. I said, well, can me and Kenny sing on it with you? He goes, absolutely. So we were on that record with him, and then he came out with Humble and Kind and some of these more serious kind of songs, and California wasn't in the single lineup, so Kenny and I just kind of pulled it back over to our side of the table and said, I wonder what we'd sound like on it together, and it sounds like what you've heard now, which sounds like a hit. And what a cool story to sing about a girl leaving somebody, not for somebody else, but leaving them to go chase down the American dream. Right. And I think anybody that's ever gone after a really big dream probably has that story. Absolutely. You know, so it was and there's lines like, these ain't no Hollywoods and these hills ain't Beverly. I mean, there's some
beaches
cool old
on
school
these back
twists.
roads. Yeah, it's got a great twist, and it also has a real refreshing feeling of that kind of 70s country rock and roll vibe, you know, sort of a little bit of an Eagles sort of feel to it. And I'll just go ahead and predict our next #1 song.
#1, guys.
Next number one.
In the meantime, catch these guys out on the road. Did It for the Party. That's the new album, California, the new single. You need to get that to #1 for these guys. They'd really appreciate it. So good stuff. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks.